Okay, so people that know what they're doing have pointed out that this is not the starter button for the starter, but actually the starter for the air conditioning motor. And the astute observational viewer would notice that it does say air conditioning on the panel that I was taking out. So the actual starter switch is up here on the dash, and I was a little confused because I thought it was a toggle switch that stayed on and would burn the starter up, but it doesn't. And after further inspection of the operator's manual, that confirms that this is indeed the starter for the bus. So we will close this up and act like we never looked inside there. Alright, so behind the gauges is the wiring. And this looks aftermarket. It's a tiny wire, I'm a little concerned about that. The engine run stop, but it does not look like the starter wires have been upgraded or replaced. Found this, or I actually looked at what it was. It's fuel capacity, which I don't know if you can see in the camera, but it says 140 gallons for tank 1, nothing for tank 2, so 140 gallons total. And then case looks like 26 quarts, maybe quarts there. It doesn't say that. And then coach number for anybody that's interested is 1865. Look at the placard I found. Noticed on the bus is this speedometer. Maximum speed. First gear, low, 15 miles an hour. Second gear, 23. Third gear, 30. And fourth, legal limit. So 85. And the bus number once again. Let me make it out. 1865. So apparently there is a starter switch at the back of the bus that I did not know about. I don't think it was hooked up because that's not the way I was shown to start it. So cleaning it up, and we'll see if we can get that one working as well. It's bad. Alright, so this is the old wire that they had, I believe, pinched into that one. And I'm following it back. It's been tucked into this clamp, and that wraps right around to this switch. And I'm not sure where that goes, other than over here to this, which says engine starting fluid. Yeah. So, to learn more about that. Okay, getting a little dark. I've removed the carpet around the driver's seat because I've decided I'm going to tear out the seat for now, because to get to all that wiring, it's just too hard with the seat in the way. So, as much like most mechanic things go, when you want to remove one thing, you have to remove something else first. Trying to take out the seat, but it goes through this panel, so obviously taking off this panel to get to a hole underneath is not happening. And then it goes through the carpet, so peeling the carpet up to get to a hole underneath is not happening. Luckily though, in the front bay, the bolts for the seat are right up under there. There's 1, 2, and in the back there's 3 and 4. So this will be easier. And I thought I'd get the seat out of there. Driver's seat is out, and now we can start tracing wires. Well, I'm pretty positive most of these studs are probably going to break off as I try and remove the nuts. Based on the first one, for turn signals, marker light switch, it already feels like the stud's going to snap when I try to back it off. So most likely I will be replacing the entire panel. Not sure how I'm going to do that yet though. As I suspected, snapped right off. So after removing a couple screws, let's see if I can get this panel to fall forward so I can get at the back of these studs. The marker light wire, which was attached up here, fell out onto the ground. It's probably one reason I didn't have any marker lights. have the 4 screws out of the corners. And the wiring is holding it back. There appears to be an insulation pad behind, see it, behind the entire panel. And you can kind of see it moving. I guess that's to insulate it from grounding on a steel panel they have back here to hold these type screws in. So they probably need to be replaced. Hopefully they're not spinning in there. Maybe it's just hopefully it's just a screw. Most of the heads broke off. I drilled them out because they were just spinning. So one of the plans might be to take all these screws out along this panel so that I can remove this back steel panel, because I'm guessing all of these wires are probably going to need drilled and tapped as well. So, weeks. I forgot to film taking the screws out for that panel, but they pretty much came out like every other screw. Luckily I didn't have to drill them. I did not get to use a Phillips though. They all had to be taken out with vice grips. So that panel is off, and on to the next panel with these screws, and hopefully I will gain access to the back of that. Always the last screw that fights you. Every project, at least on this bus so far. Well, the panel is forward. It's the back of it, which I guess is to be expected. I can access it. And I think that's going to end this vlog.